Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm absolutely shattered. I'm jiggered. If you remember yesterday, I said I wasn't feeling very well. I'm not feeling very well again today. I think it's the Christmas excess that's affected my, my systems, basically. Because I don't know if you know. I'm always complaining that I've got loads of meds that I've got to take. Because I've got high blood pressure and hypertension, and I'm diabetic. So I take meds for that. And I think over Christmas, because I've been eating all the wrong stuff, it sent all my system all to whack. So I'm on a bit of a purge now at the moment. But I haven't been feeling very well. So I'm a bit tired. I've been napping. But anyway, as you can see, got rid of all the Christmas stuff. Not in the room. I mean in the roundabout part, the border and stuff. Because it's getting near the end of the season, isn't it? And I just thought I'd just get rid of it. Right, anyway, so what we're doing today, I'm going to have a look at upcoming movie releases. So let's open the window. There we go. Most anticipated movie releases of 2023. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. As usual, links in the description. And don't forget, up there, not up there anymore, it's up there because I'm back on the left-hand side. Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment. Hit the notification bell if you're subscribed. Follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Rumble and Anchor.fm and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcast and Google Play Podcast. Yay! Is that it? I think so. Right, let's get on with this. Most anticipated movie releases of 2023. I've not looked at the list. I've seen a couple of them, but I've not gone through the list really. And a lot of the films I don't think I'll be watching. I imagine a few of the films I've not even heard of, but anyway, let's have a look. From Cocaine Bear to Fast X, Ant-Man to Aquaman, Barbie to Blue Beetle, and everything in between. Why have they got those in little quotes, but not Ant-Man to Aquaman? This is from Kimberly Nordyke, editor. There we go. And then we see a picture. There's obviously Paul Rudd as Aquaman, and is that from Creed? That's him that plays Kang, isn't it? But he's in Creed 3, I think. And there's Indy, and there's the lovely Margot Robbie as Barbie. But I still think, I wish she'd eat a few pies. She's gorgeous, but, a bit thin for me. Anyway, right, from a Cocaine Bear to a Willy Wonka origin story. See, that's the first I'm hearing of that. And the latest in the John Wick, Aquaman and Mission Impossible franchises. There's a lot to look forward to in 2023. Next year we will see new movies from Martin Scorsese, Wes Anderson and Nia DaCosta. Is that how you pronounce it? Don't know. Never heard of that person. And long-awaited titles like the live-action Barbie movie and the Spider-Verse follow-up. Check out some of the most anticipated 2023 feature film releases below. Right, Megan, or is it M3 Gan? I believe it's Megan. A creepy artificial intelligence doll is tasked with being the friend of a recently orphaned girl. What could possibly go wrong? Probably lots. Gerard Johnston, or is it just Gerard? Oh, they'd say Gerard in America, wouldn't they? I don't know. Like they say Bernard, not Bernard. Directs this team up from horror producers James Wan and Jason Blum, starring Alison Williams. That's probably good if it's a James Wan and Blumhouse production. Well, there's no pictures, never mind. Right, House Party. By the way, that was January 6th. It's not far off, is Megan. House Party, January 13th, a reimagining of the 1990 classic. I've never seen it. Films like that have never appealed to me, to be honest. Follows two friends who throw a massive party in the house of NBA superstar LeBron James, who also produced the movie and appears as himself. So it's a vanity project then, is it? Right, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which I've said before, always reminds me of Quadrophenia. I don't know why. They're riding about on scooters and going, we are the mods, etc. No, I don't think that'll be happening. February 17th, we get a picture, look, of them standing in front of a green screen and looking at X's on the wall, probably. It looks rubbish. Anyway, the latest instalment in the Ant-Man franchise will see Paul Rudd's Ant-Man and Evangeline Lilly's Wasp exploring the quantum realm and battling a new big bad, Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. That's who we're up there. Jonathan Majors. So there you go. I must admit, I do like the Ant-Man films, and I did like Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I imagine I'll like this one, because, but it all depends what to do with it, doesn't it? See, we're kind of sidelined a little bit in Ant-Man and the Wasp, wasn't it, by the Wasp and, the baddie in that, Ghost, or whatever she was called. But anyway. But I did like the first one a lot, the first Ant-Man film. But a lot of fun. I wonder what it'd have been like with if Edgar Wright had stayed on board. But anyway, we'll never know. Right, Cocaine Bear from February 24th from director Elizabeth Banks. A bear in Kentucky ingests cocaine that ends up in the forest after a bungled drug run and goes on a homicidal rampage. And they always say, based on a true story, but it's not really, is it? I think the true story is a bear ate lots of cocaine and then I think it died. It didn't go on a homicidal rampage. But this should be fun. There's a trailer knocking about and it looks a lot of fun. It looks very gory. And it looks good, and a surprising director, Elizabeth Banks. She did the Charlie's Angels thing, didn't she? And but I do actually quite like her as an actress. I saw her in Brightburn, and I thought she was quite good in that. But anyway, right. Creed 3, March 3rd. Franchise star Michael B. Jordan, who I believe is that, is stepping behind the camera for this entry, which will see Adonis Creed face off against a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy played by Majors, as in Jonathan Majors, not Lee Majors. So they're about to fight there, out there. He's saying, I want a good clean fight. Break when I tell you, and go to your corner when I direct you, or whatever they say. They say stuff like that, don't they? And we'll have Michael Buffer. Is that him in the background? Is that Michael Buffer there? Could you see his bow tie there? Saying, let's get ready to rumble. Or maybe not, I don't know. I liked the first one. I can't actually remember what happened in Creed 2. Was that the one where Rocky got cancer? I can't actually remember. Or was that the first one? I don't know. Scream 6, March 10th. I haven't seen the previous one, to be honest, yet. I don't think. Or am I thinking of this one? Is there a Scream that came out recently? I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, but I haven't seen it. And I do quite like the Scream films. I just haven't got around to it. The franchise update continues with the next gen of Ghostface survivors attempting to leave Woodsboro behind for a new start in New York City. Jenna Ortega, who we've seen in Wednesday recently, and who oddly reminds me of Jenna Coleman. So do all Jennas look alike? But anyway. Maybe it was just one photo that reminded me, I don't know. Jasmine Savoy Brown, sounds very posh, but I don't know who she is. I'm saying she, I'm guessing it's a she. Because you never know these days. Minefield. Melissa Barrera and Mason Gooding return. Oh, so they might have been in the previous one that I've not seen. Along with Scream veteran Hayden Panettiere. So she's a veteran now. I think she was in Scream 4, wasn't she, I think. So she's classed as the vet now, is she? What about all the previous ones? I don't know. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, March 17th. I saw the first one. It was okay. Pushed from 2022, the Shazam sequel will see Zachary Levi's hero square off against Helen Mirren's Hespera. Oh, it's always nice to see Helen Mirren. It's one of these older women. She's an elderly lady, isn't she? But there's something about her, isn't there? There's still something about her. She's never lost that, that sex appeal, has she, Helen Mirren? Even though she's knocking on a bit now. It must be that she's got a twinkle in her eye, hasn't she? She's always naughty. But watch Excalibur. Oh, that's like prime Helen Mirren. Blummy number. Right, John Wick Chapter 4, March 24th. Everybody likes the John Wick films, don't they? Even though I thought the third one went a bit... It was a bit cartoony, wasn't it? They've always been slightly cartoony, the violence and stuff. But I think John Wick 3, overdid it a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. Keanu Reeves is back as a former hitman turned hit in a globe-trotting entry directed by Chad Stahelski. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise, remember, in It, parts 1 and 2, as Wick's latest foe, while Donnie Yen is set to star as an old friend. Oh, right, very good. They're still doing the spin-off. Was it a spin-off series or a spin-off film? The International, about the the hotels where it's they're not allowed to kill each other in the hotels, but they do. Dungeons and Dragons, Honour Among Thieves. I spelled honour wrong. It should have a U in there. I know, it's the American spelling. It's not my fault they can't spell. But I've read somewhere that actually American English is probably closer to Old English than modern English in England. So there you go. March 31st, the movie adaptation of the beloved role-playing game from game night duo John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein stars Chris Pine as the head of a band of adventurers searching for a lost relic, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, Regé Jean Page, I don't know, and Hugh Grant, round out the cast. I don't know. It doesn't look good, does it? I think there's a poster been out. Has there been a trailer? I can't remember, but it doesn't look good. But the first Dungeons and Dragons with Jeremy Irons, that wasn't very good either, was it? But it was kind of fun. The Super Mario Brothers movie, April 7th. This is a CG animated one, isn't it? It's not got Bob Hoskins in and the other fella, John Leguizamo. Oh dear. Sorry, my illness these last 2 days, I've been having these weird burps. I know I burp a lot, but I think that's because I'm talking and I'm breathing in and that. But I've had these weird, I think all the crap I've eaten, it's affected my digestive system. I'm probably dying. Anyway, never mind. The latest attempt at bringing the video game to the big screen is an animated feature that has the eponymous Italian plumber, voiced by Chris Pratt, with Charlie Day's Luigi and Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. Oh, my son will like that. He's a fan of Anya Taylor-Joy. Don't know why, he just is. Ever since we saw her in The Witch, it took me to the pictures to see that. The Witch. And it were all right. But I always remember there were a couple sat next to us. And when the credits went up, the woman stood up and glared at her beau and said, "That's 2 hours of my life and not bloody getting back," and stormed out. I don't think she was impressed with it. But me and Aidan liked it. Like Renfield, April 14th. The horror comedy sees Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. Oh, we've seen photos of him as Dracula, haven't we, on the internet? So is it from this, Renfield, who remember is the first person that he goes to see Dracula. Is the first person to interact with Dracula, should I say, before Jonathan Harker, and he goes crazy, doesn't he, in the story. Ends up in Dr. Seward's asylum, doesn't he? Anyway, with a focus on his henchman, played by Nicholas Hoult, who did Beast in the X-Men First Class and afterwards X-Men films, who starts to consider life outside his servitude, finding a new lease on life in modern-day New Orleans. But he died, didn't he? Dracula killed him, didn't he? Obviously, it's not a strict adaptation. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this will be one of the biggest films of the year. May 5th, the final Guardians film takes place after Endgame, obviously, with Peter Quill reeling from the loss of Zoe Saldana's Gamora. Yeah, I'm sure. I hope it's going to be good. It should be. If the Christmas special, the holiday special, is anything to go by, it's going to be amazing, because I love that. Right, Fast X, May 19th. And there's Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez. I've got to admit, I think I've only seen the first 2 of the Fast and Furious films. I might just be the first one. I can't actually remember. I'm sure I've seen the second one as well. But don't ask me what happened in it. But I haven't seen any after that. Which is weird, because I did quite enjoy the first 2. Or at least the first one, because I can't remember the second one. But I'm sure I've seen it. Anyway, the second to last instalment of the Fast franchise, so they've got it planned out, have they? We'll see Vin Diesel and his team back together, this time joined by franchise newcomer Brie Larson. Oh, joy. As I described yesterday on the internet, I was in a live stream chat. She looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a blonde wig. The Little Mermaid, May 26th. The latest live-action animation from Disney is a remake of the 1989 classic and will have Halle Bailey, not Berry, starring as Princess Ariel. Melissa McCarthy will play Ursula. Fair enough. With Javier Bardem playing King Triton. Right, well, okay. So we'll not see Ariel's mother then. We didn't in the film though, did we? Because they don't believe in Disney animation. They don't believe in like having proper families, do they? One of the parents is always dead. Oh, it seems to be the case. I think that will. Joke coming up. I think that film will flounder. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, June the 2nd. The follow-up to the Oscar-winning Marvel animation, which I wasn't entirely enamoured with. They were all right. I quite enjoyed it, but the animation style didn't really grip me, to be honest. Anyway, we'll see Miles Morales diving into the multiverse, meeting new Spider-Mans. Was it Spider-Men or Spider-People? And foes voiced by franchise newcomers like Oscar Isaac, Issa Rae, and Daniel Kaluuya. That name rings a bell. What have I seen him in? I can't remember. Transformers Rise of the Beast, June 9th. The first Transformers movie since 2017, The Last Night, which I've not seen because I hate the Transformers films. Even the first one. Stars Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback and centres on Brooklyn archaeologists in the 1990s who uncover an ancient conflict. I don't know. Has Michael Bay got anything to do with this? Is Michael Bay directing it or is it somebody else? I don't know. I think it's somebody else, isn't it? So it might be all right. Because people said I forgot his name, that yellow car, I forgot the name of it now, Bumblebee. People said Bumblebee were good, but I've not watched it because I didn't like the other Transformers films. But people said that were good. So this might be, I don't know. Right, No Hard Feelings, never heard of it. June 16th, this coming-of-age comedy drama stars Jennifer Lawrence. So it's the very first ever coming-of-age comedy. As a woman who answers a Craigslist ad that was placed by a mother for someone to date her son before he enters college. The project has been described as being in the vein of Bad Teacher and Risky Business. I bet that's shite. The Flash, June 23rd. Ezra Miller, who has been mired in controversy, follow that link, I'm sure they'll give you lots of information, will lead the DC superhero standalone that will see the return of Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton as Batmans, but not Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot, because I think they were supposed to be in it, but they're not going to be now. I don't know if they've been cut out, if they filmed their parts and been, cut out from it, or if they're just not bothered. They planned to use them, but then didn't, change their mind. I don't know. Untitled Adele Lim comedy, June 23rd. The directorial debut from the Crazy Rich Asians writer. I've not seen Crazy Rich Asians, so I don't know. Follows 4 Asian American women as they travel through Asia in search of their birth mothers. Yeah, I'm sure that's cool. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There we go. June 30th, and there he is. Get ready to run away. He ducks down, doesn't he? Because they all shoot at him. And then as he ducks down, they carry on shooting where he was. The latest Indiana Jones is set in 1969 and other eras, apparently, against the backdrop of the space race, and sees Jones along with a goddaughter played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, of obviously Fleabag fame, and she wrote, and she was the head writer for the first series of Killing Eve, and she wrote wrote parts of the last James Bond film, No Time to Die, which I quite liked, to be honest. And apart from the end. And what else has she done? She played the robot, didn't she, in the droid, L337, or I don't know what they're called. In Solo, a Star Wars story that eventually became part of the Millennium Falcon's navigation system, anyway. Which is how they were able to do the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs. It makes no sense. Attempt to uncover whether the US government recruited then former World War II enemies in desperation to beat the Soviet Union. Oh, is that what it's about? I always thought it was about the Glocke, the Nazi bell. That's what I thought. That was my theory, that it were going to reappear over, I forgot the name of it now. That American place in Kentucky. Starts with a name, I've forgotten. My brain. In 1965, there were like a big UFO thing, weren't there? This acorn-shaped object, which matches the description of the Glocke, the bell. And some people have wondered what it was. It was this big top-secret thing in Nazi Germany towards the end of World War II. Then all the scientists disappeared and the Glocke itself vanished. And I think it reappeared in 1965 because I think it was a time machine and it jumped 20 years into the future. So that's what I think. But that's probably not what's going to happen just because I think that. It don't mean that it's true, does it? But apparently they go back in time and stuff in this, don't they? They go back to the war and we see young Indy. And apparently they go back to Roman times as well for some reason. But anyway. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, July 14th. The 7th instalment of Tom Cruise's spy thriller series will no doubt include globe-trotting and outsized stunts. Yes, well, we've seen some of them, haven't we? We saw that clip he did where he jumped off an helicopter, talking all the way as he plummeted towards the ground. What a guy. And then we saw there's that video, that behind the scenes of him practicing for that big motorbike jump and parachute that ends up into a parachute jump. Done by Tom Cruise. He's amazing. Hey, I wonder what his insurance is. It must be a fortune, but he can afford it. So that's coming out the middle of next year. Oppenheimer, another one that's going to be popular, but I'm not the biggest Christopher Nolan fan, to be honest, but yeah, he's a good filmmaker. July 21st, the latest from Christopher Nolan tells the story of American scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer as he develops the atomic bomb. They didn't say it in the trailer, did they? Not that I noticed. Anyway, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. That's his famous quote, isn't it? That he took from, Sanskrit text. Cillian Murphy leads... Is it Cillian or Cillian? I always say this, don't know. I'll say Cillian, because Cillian sounds silly. Sounds like a Cillian. Leads a cast that also includes Florence Pugh, who I've got a huge crush on, Emily Blunt, who I've got a huge crush on, Robert Downey Jr., and Matt Damon, among many, many others. I think he's playing an old man, isn't he, Robert Downey Jr., which some have said why he looks a bit off at the moment. They're saying, he's become a vegan, so now he looks unhealthy, but it might be because he was playing, a part in this Oppenheimer film. I don't know, I might be wrong. Probably am. Right, Barbie, July 21st. So there she is, Margot Robbie. The long-awaited movie based on the best-selling toy as Margot Robbie starring as Barbie. Ryan Gosling plays Ken, and Greta Gerwig is in the director's chair. There was a trailer, wasn't there, that were like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Is it going to be a comedy? Probably. I don't know. It's not meant for me, is it? It's meant for kids, I suppose. But kids wouldn't even understand the 2001 imagery from the trailer, would they? So I don't know. It's probably a family thing, but she needs to eat a few pies. The Marvels, July 28th. The Captain Marvel follow-up will see the team-up of Larson's Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Iman Vellani, and Monica Rambeau. On Paris. I'm saying them all wrong. Yes, it started out as Captain Marvel 2 and then became the Marvels because people hated Captain Marvel, even though it made $1 billion. But people still hated the film because it only made $1 billion because it came off Endgame, didn't it? No, it came off Infinity War. Endgame came after it, didn't it? So people wondered what was happening because the post-credits scene or mid-credits scene had Captain Marvel's symbol, didn't they? So they thought, ooh, what's this going to be about? And it wasn't really about that. Right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, an animated feature based on the 1980s cartoon about humanoid pizza-loving and crime-fighting turtles produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Don't care. Blue Beetle, previously August 18th, by the way, the last one August 4th. Previously destined for HBO Max, the standalone superhero movie is getting a full theatrical release. It follows a Mexican-American teenager, Jaime Reyes, I don't know, who gains superpowers thanks to a blue scarab beetle. I know nothing about Blue Beetle. I've got a Facebook friend that cosplays as Blue Beetle. That's as much as I know about that character. Equalizer 3, September 1st. There's Denzel. Antoine Fuqua. Got to be careful with that name, haven't you? And Denzel Washington are back for the latest movie about retired US Marine and former DIA officer Robert McCall, a.k.a. The Equalizer. I've not seen the first two. I used to watch the series starring Edward Woodward in the olden days, but I never really understood it because he just used to walk around stiffly in a big long overcoat, didn't he? But I've heard these are good. I should really get round to watching them because I've heard they're good. The Expendables 4, September 22nd. Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham and Dolph Lundgren return as mercenaries who are this time tasked with taking down an arms dealer who commands the might of a massive private army. Iko Uwais, I don't know, and Andy Garcia also star. It'll be exciting, I suppose. I've not seen Expendables 3. I think I've seen Expendables 2. I can't remember. I've got Expendables 1 on Blu-ray over there. Where is it? Not that you can see it. It's over there somewhere. Craven the Hunter. October 6th. Aaron Taylor-Johnson stars as a big game hunter Sergei Kravinov. A Spider-Man villain, Russell Crowe and Ariana DeBose also star. So is there going to be a villain in it? Or are they going to turn him into an anti-hero? Like Venom? Probably. The Exorcist. Ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know they were doing another version of this. October 13th. After finishing up his take on another horror classic, Halloween, David Gordon Green is now back in theatres with The Exorcist, a sequel, to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who is possessed by a demon. They've already had a sequel, haven't they? They've had two. Exorcist 2, The Heretic. That was a sequel because it had Linda Blair in it. And then Exorcist 3, which people seem to love for some reason, but I always thought were a bit overrated. It were alright. But anyway. But the first Exorcist is a classic, isn't it? You can't beat that. One of the scariest films ever made. And I don't think this one will match it. I honestly don't. Anyway, Dune Part 2, November 3rd. The second half of Denis Villeneuve's sci-fi adaptation will pick up where Part 1 left off. Well, you should hope so, shouldn't you? With Paul Atreides looking to avenge his family by teaming up with the Fremen, joining Timothée Chalamet, who some people are saying is going to play Superman for some reason, and Zendaya will be Austin Butler, and Florence Pugh, there she is again. She's getting around, isn't she? It's them eyes. It's them eyes that do it for me with Florence Pugh. Anyway, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, November 17th. The Hunger Games prequel stars Rachel Zegler as Lucy Gray Baird, the girl tribute from impoverished District 12, who is mentored by a then 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow. I don't know. I've seen the first Hunger Games. It were all right, but I've never got around to watching the others. Wonka. December 15th, Paddington director Paul King is behind this Willy Wonka origin story. Why do you need one? I don't know. That stars Timothée Chalamet again. I suppose he looks a bit like Willy Wonka, doesn't he? Yeah. As the future candy maker. All right, the story will centre on how he met the Oompa Loompas on one of his earliest adventures. 'Cause in the book, the Oompa Loompas were basically just like pygmies from Africa, weren't they? But then in the films, they made them as a different species, weren't they, to humans. But in the books, they were just little black pygmy people from Africa that he brought to his factory and had them working there. And because that's what they wanted to do. Sure, that'll be crap. The Colour Purple, December 20th. The movie adaptation of the Broadway musical, itself an adaptation of Alice Walker's novel, stars Fantasia as Celie and Coleman Domingo, Corey Hawkins, H.E.R. Onjanu Ellis and Kiara among the supporting cast. I've never heard of any of them. Never heard of any of them. Don't even did they mention the movie adaptation of the Broadway musical and an adaptation of Alice Walker's novel. Don't mention the Steven Spielberg film that won Oscars, do they? Well, or it were nominated at least. No, it won, didn't it? Because Whoopi Goldberg won an Oscar, didn't she, for The Colour Purple? Yeah, but I've not seen it because it's not my sort of thing. I got the feeling it were a bit depressing, even for the Spielberg film. But so it's not my cup of tea. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Christmas Day next year. There he is. Old Ronan Dex, as I know him, from Stargate Atlantis. Should get him back. The sequel will see the return of Jason Momoa's DC superhero, along with Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's Black Manta and Nicole Kidman's Atlanta. Franchise newcomers include Randall Park as Dr. Stephen Shin, a marine biologist obsessed with finding Atlantis, Yani Zhao as Stingray, and India Moore as Karshon. They don't mention Amber Heard, do they, as Mira? Is she in it? Apparently. Some more to be decided, or to be... Is that what stands for? To be decided? I don't know. Nearly there, nearly at the end. Disappointment Boulevard, the logline for the latest film from Ari Aster. Ooh, this should be good. Reads a decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. Joaquin Phoenix leads a cast that includes Patti LuPone and Nathan Lane. I don't know then. Don't sound very horrific. Obviously, Ari Aster's famous for Hereditary and Midsommar, isn't he? Two, basically horror films. Particularly Hereditary, one of the greatest horror films ever made. Absolutely terrifying. Really good film. Maestro, the Leonard Bernstein or Steen biopic, has Bradley Cooper back in the director's chair for the first time since A Star Is Born. Another film I've never seen. He will play the famous composer with Carey Mulligan. Or is it Carey Mulligan? I don't know how you pronounce it. I know her from Blink. Hush was the Buffy episode, wasn't it? From Blink, the Doctor Who episode. She played Sparrow. Sally Sparrow. That was Carey Mulligan, wasn't it? Was it? I hope it was. Now I've said that. Matt Bomer, Maya Hawke, and Sarah Silverman also appearing in the Netflix project. Oh, no. Napoleon, the latest historical drama from Ridley Scott, will track the French leader's origins and, as the logline leads, swift, ruthless climb to emperor, viewed through the prism of his addictive and often volatile relationship with his wife and one true love, Josephine. Not denied, Josephine. Phoenix, is he back again? Joaquin Phoenix plays Napoleon, with Vanessa Kirby starring opposite him as Empress Josephine. Oh, we hadn't done. I thought we'd done then. Asteroid City, the latest from Wes Anderson, is set at an astronomy convention in a desert town in the 1950s. So I presume that's Margot Robbie. Just stop using the surnames. I know we've seen them up there, but it could be another Robbie for all we know. Margot Robbie, Scarlett Johansson, Edward Norton, Tom Hanks, Steve Carell, Hong Chow and Bryan Cranston are among the large ensemble cast. I bet that's good, actually. I bet that's going to be good, that. I don't know why, I just do. Killers of the Flower Moon. The latest team-up between Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio is expected next year from Apple TV+, based on the book of the same name. Never heard of it. The story takes place after members of the, I don't know, is that Osage tribe? Is that how you pronounce it? In the United States, are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s. Oh, I bet that's interesting then. Oh, that's it. There, we're done. So there you go. Is there any more films coming out next year that I can think of off the top of my head? No. So there you go. Some of those I'm kind of looking forward to, and some of them I'm not really. It doesn't look as though it's going to be a particularly stellar year, does it, 2023? Unless there's some surprises coming that we don't know about. But we will see. We will see. Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. I hope I recover later on. I've got my live stream to do, haven't I, for my Friday night appointment with Thea to do later on. We're doing End of Days tonight. So that should be fun. The Arnold Schwarzenegger film. I thought that's set around New Year, isn't it? So it's New Year's Eve tomorrow. So that's what we're watching later. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. Look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.